Coming to you straight from the Rio Grande and beyond. Broadcasting to the four corners of the globe. So grab your seat, your coffee, or your sundowner.
Okay, everybody, here we go.
On point, as always. This is Gloves Off. Gloves Off.
So when I was working on Selena, the series for Netflix, to play the role of Abraham Quintanilla, I put on a specific amount of weight, which I was fine doing, but also realizing it could be difficult to get that weight off. I got back into my physical regimen with James Leha, but I was still having trouble with just those last amounts. And that's when I got to meet Arturo from Laredo Medical Weight Loss Clinic. And just the products that he gave me kind of put me over the edge. I feel great about myself.
Back at you with Gloves Off. I'm Professor Buitron. I'm here with Grandmaster Richard Hackworth, a man that I recognize as one of the leading authorities on retaining students and keeping students in the businesses of the martial arts world, and somebody I call a dear friend and a brother. How are we doing today? You doing good?
Yeah, I'm doing very well. I appreciate the opportunity to be on the show again.
No. It's always great to see your counsel, because we get a lot of questions from a lot of people, from other people in the martial arts, and it's always good to have people that have been around for a long time, like you have, in the businesses of the martial arts, and especially in that type of field. And today, one of the major questions is the issue with parents keeping their kids inside the schools, and it's kind of like five questions in one, because the different people that I get have different martial art backgrounds and different schools, from jiu-jitsu to a boxing school to a taekwondo school to a karate school to stuff like that, and it's very hard for some styles to get kids, and some styles are popular with other kids. But what many are feeling is kids come into the play and parents really don't push them. They're just like, okay, little Johnny's going to quit, so they remove him. And that's the problem that we get. How do you deal with stuff like that?
Well, first and foremost, we have to establish as the parents that class is a priority. And, one thing that can be done is when they first get in, if the kid tells the parents, hey, look, I don't really like martial arts. And then as a parent, you just let them know, well, I understand that. That's why we're only going to go twice a week. And if you decide later that you like it more, we'll see about paying for you to go more often. But this is something that you need, because we as parents can't always be there to protect you. And to make sure that you're going to be safe and that you can handle yourself when danger comes up, we're going to go twice a week. So just like brushing your teeth and putting on clean clothes, it's just part of life. You're going to go to martial arts class.
Yeah, because that's the number one question that I get parents calling for schools here, for as whether their son or daughter getting bullied at school. They're hanging around with the wrong crowd. They're looking at different possibilities of them not to be around that element. And they look at martial arts schools as the alternative for their safety, which it's true. You take somebody's going to learn how to defend themselves in a martial arts school. But what I'm also getting at, what I'm also getting is the kids come in, and all of a sudden, well, he doesn't like this. He wants to go play video games or be with his friends over there in basketball, and that's basically where we're going to take him. And that's basically the priority of martial arts goes down the totem pole.
Yeah, that's, like I said, we just want to establish with parents that martial arts isn't just another sport. It has the potential to save the lives of their kids in the worst kinds of situations. and anybody watching the news is going to see what human trafficking has become in this country. And as a parent, you owe it. You have an obligation to provide some sort of training to your child to make sure that they're going to be safe as possible, and you can't be there to protect them. And the other thing is that we have to pre-frame. So what happens is when it's time to get ready for class, if mom has been letting little Billy play on his cell phone, play a game or on a video game, and all little Billy's got in his mind is, wow, I'm only 100 points away from the highest score ever, and I want to keep doing this. I don't want to go to class. Then that's what they're fighting. They're fighting because the kids were allowed to do entertainment. And I know a trick that I learned, that I've seen some parents that were good at. That, after my homework was done, my parents were like, okay, go out, rake the leaves, clean up the dog mess. And so I'm doing these chores. And then all of a sudden they're like, hey, Richard, it's time to go to class. Of course, I'm going to be ready to stop picking up dog poop so I can grab my uniform and go to class. So if we make that pre-framing to where we take them from unpleasant tasks that they have to do to getting to go doing something less unpleasant and having fun and getting some exercise, then that's going to be what the child wants to do. So, and like I said, I consider, the child's safety as important as nutrition. You wouldn't let your child eat cupcakes 3 times a day for their meals because that's child abuse. They're going to end up sick, and you're going to end up in front of a judge explaining why your child has the, type 2 diabetes at 6 because you never fed them a vegetable. We have to take responsibility. And that's the other thing, self-responsibility. And I just present it to people that, and when I tell them these tips, I go, look, this is what other loving parents do. So now the choice I've just given them is you can do what people who love their children do, or you can admit to me right here and now that you don't give a damn about your kids. So it's a very powerful psychological tool.
Good. Yeah, that psychological tools. Elaborate on those.
Yeah, so like I said, we all have things that we enjoy doing more than others. So the idea is to employ those with the kids by having them do less pleasant tasks for the 30 minutes leading up to getting in the car to go to martial arts. So when it comes time and we tell them, stop doing that because we're going to go do this, they're happy to do it, And just like for a lot of grown-ups, if a wife's got her husband out cleaning the garage or cleaning the shed, mowing the lawn, and all of a sudden she's like, hey, honey, Bill called. Would you like to go grab a quick 9 rounds of golf? Well, of course he's going to quit mowing the lawn to go play golf. It's human nature. So, this isn't really tricking people. It's just working that human nature to our advantage.
Absolutely. And that's what parents need to understand because I see a lot of them, not only myself, other associates that we have that are friends of yours as well. Their main question is now kids are doing 4 or 5 different activities after school, and the martial arts all of a sudden became not important. But while it was the important thing because little Billy, little Jill were getting bullied and beaten up at school. So it's that mindset that parents need to understand. It's also as important as their baseball, basketball, football, band, glee club, cheerleading. This is also that important as well. That's what martial art schools are competing against.
Yeah, well, they're competing against bad parenting because the thing is, if you want your child to have focus, you can't have them trying to do 5 different things a day. You want to focus on 2 to 3 maximum, go to school. That's your priority. We have a legal obligation to educate you because we conceived you and brought you into this world. And then the next priority that we have as a parent and an obligation is your health and safety. And getting fit and learning self-defense is part of our family health and safety program. So it's, like I said, it's a given. And I see a lot of parents that tell their kids too, like, hey, my dad made me take karate for 3 years when I was a kid so I could handle myself. And I think you should do it too. Or even consider doing it as a family activity. And the other
Absolutely.
thing that they can do is when they pick the kid up from class, or if they stay to watch class, let the coaches do the corrections. All the parents need to do is encourage and tell them after class, I really like watching you do martial arts. I can see that you're getting good at it. And getting good at it is a broad perspective, right? So we're not saying we think you're going to be a world champion, but we're saying you're better this week than you were 3 weeks ago. So we're giving them that positive reinforcement and that encouragement. And there's kids that, I know that they've told me that they can't remember the last time their parents said something encouraging to them. And so that's very important. And I tell the parents, you got to treat their stripe test or their next belt test just like making the honor roll at school. When they achieve something like this and they did all the work that it takes to get that next belt, you need to encourage them and reward them and tell them, hey, I am proud of you because I know how hard you worked to make this happen. Not everybody can do that. And
Absolutely.
and this is another mistake parents make. They're like, well, look, if you go to class, I'll let you play for an hour when we get home on your video game. You don't bribe children. That's not how you maintain control. You're the parent, you're in charge, you make the decision. And what we do, instead of bribing them and being at their mercy, we reward them for good behavior. When they do what they're asked and they do it well, we reward them.
Absolutely. You see that rewarding them is a key here. And you have to understand, not rewarding them because they came to school 5 times a week, but rewarding them for doing and achieving a goal. I think that's what we have to go with, And did they finish a goal? Was a goal set? Did you finish it? Then you go forward with that and you get rewarded on that. You got good grades this semester, you get rewarded.
And part of getting good grades or getting good performance is good attendance. So we give them awards for excellent attendance. You went the whole belt cycle without missing a class. You get extra recognition for that. And I had a mom call me one time because kids pick up on this stuff and said, look, we're on the way. I didn't think I was going to take him today, but he just told me that he has perfect attendance so far and he doesn't want to mess that up. So we're going to be a few minutes late, but we're coming. I just want to make sure he's going to get credit for being there today, even though we're a few minutes late.
Absolutely. And that's something that we have here. We have a lot of kids that are very good, but the parents can't get them here on time. Or they can only get them maybe once a week here or maybe twice a week to come in, so, and then you have kids that are here all the time. And that's a good, how can I say it? Because what happens when you have a class and you have, I'm just going to throw out a number, you have 12 kids and 6 of them don't show up, but show up once a month and they come regularly, it kind of puts a damper on the other 6 that are coming there all the time. Yeah. Because their parents are going to say, well, it's really not important for them. It shouldn't be important for us as well. But again, when we grew up in the martial arts, it was Darwinism. You went there, you did it, the best became. And nowadays it's a little bit different because everything's changing around us. But that Darwinism's still there, and that's a great reward, that recognition for when they do come and they don't miss a class. They get a yeah.
Absolutely. And so, like I said, the building on the practice as a parent to reward good behavior instead of bribing them out of bad behavior has its benefits across the board. You'll see better performance academically. And that's the other thing we tell them, as your child gets more physically fit, they're going to be less tired at school during the day. They'll be able to focus better. They're going to get better grades as a result. And so even when there's a problem with, say, the grade isn't that good, and we take a look on the report card, it also talks about their behavior. Well, if the behavior was bad and the grade was bad, we know the problem. But if the behavior was good, but the grade was still low, maybe they just need some tutoring on that particular topic or get them some flashcards for math or something. But you don't pull them out of martial arts class because they didn't do perfect at school. That doesn't make sense. So, all right, Billy, you only got a C in science. You're not going to church anymore. You know, what sense would that make? And, or Billy, you don't get to eat this week. You didn't perform good enough at school. You know, it's that important. And like I said, it just dumbfounds me sometimes at how parents will make these decisions. And I'm thinking, how do you think that's going to enforce the will to try hard in your child when you punish them for something that wasn't completely their fault?
Absolutely. Absolutely. And you see, and these ideas here bring ideas for schools to continue their growth and to help the kids grow. And a lot of individuals do in the martial arts, they open up a school and they do not know how to teach kids. A lot of people do not know how to teach, period. Yeah, they got their black belt, but they weren't taught how to teach. You have to be taught how to teach. You have to do an apprenticeship. And sometimes kids are a lot different than teaching adults or teaching competitors or what have you. It's a different realm. And when teaching kids with parents, it's not that you're catering to the parent. You're actually trying to help the parent with their child. And it's not that we're going to become the secondary parent, because a lot of parents want that. We're not becoming the secondary parent. We're just helping them achieve their goals of parenting.
Yeah. And the other thing too is that we help the parents on our end by working with the kids on their behavior. And so a lot of times we'll mention to the kids, hey, don't forget to give your mom a hug and thank her for bringing you here today. You know, because if you know the kid had a great time, I said, make sure you tell your mom how much fun you had. Give her a hug. Thank her for bringing you today. And you can see it on the parent's face when little Billy runs over and hugs his mom. They're not used to that. And it just makes them fill up, you know, with joy to see their child reflecting that toward them. And so all of these things come from the self-discipline that we teach them in martial arts. And expressing gratitude is a sign of self-respect. And, you know, when you show gratitude or when you show respect to other people, you do that because you respect yourself. Because if you don't have self-respect, there's not possible to respect anyone else.
Absolutely. Respecting everyone else is through self-respect. I think that's the number one key. And we have forgotten that. And I think, and not only that, I think martial arts still attains that. We've lost it in some of the other sports. You know, it's still out there, but we've lost it. But here in the martial arts, you see it, and that's what builds upon that. Most of the martial arts are doing that. So I'm you know, that is something that I admire what you said, self-respect, because that's basically what we have.
Yeah. And all of those things are built into the curriculum, you know, our student creed and student oath, things like that we do in class, our children's daily goals, you know, all of these things that we do with them develop that self-respect, develop that self-discipline. And when I explain to parents that, look, we're going to teach your child self-discipline. And the difference between self-discipline and discipline is you tell Jimmy to go clean his room and he goes and cleans his room. Self-discipline is Jimmy's getting ready for school. He straightens up his room to clean it up before he leaves because he knows it's his responsibility. That is self-discipline. You didn't have to tell him to do it because you've told him before, and he knows it's one of his life's responsibilities. Just like getting good grades at school, studying, trying hard at martial arts class. All of those things fall under the category of your child's responsibilities.
Absolutely. You know, it's a great conversation that we're having, and I thank you for bringing everything up, because those are the questions that hopefully we can help others that are watching this understand that, both the parent as well as the instructors that's out there, because Kids are the future of martial arts, regardless of any martial art. And if they're we're losing them to baseball or what have you, they're not going to say their goals are not being met. We're also falling at fault in that, and we should be strive to be better because they're the future.
Absolutely. Yeah, they're the future of everything, not just martial arts. But I have some high hope because the last decade or so, there's been a downturn in the martial arts, a focus on uh, physically beating down others to prove your superiority. Whereas, learning how to defend yourself and protect yourself is a noble cause. Protecting yourself and others is a noble cause. Beating the snot out of somebody for the sake of being able to claim you were the baddest in the cage is not a social achievement. It's human cockfighting. But what's going on now is that the entertainment industry has seen that. And what they're finding is, I spoke to some executives from a channel called Tubi. I don't know if you've ever heard of it, but one of the channels that they have through Roku on this Tubi channel is one of their categories is martial arts. They are starting to seek out and promote martial arts movies that promote strong character development and strong moral courage, which is the opposite of what we're seeing out of the MMA industry. And it's a shame because there are a lot of really fabulous athletes and great people in there, but the promotion side of it has gotten really sleazy. And so they're encouraging the fighters to do more, pro wrestling type antics and, slap somebody before a match, those kind of things. So we want to get back to our core values and principles that yes, what we are studying is the art of war, but it is an art. And we have other things that are character traits of a warrior, and strong character and strong sense of right and wrong, strong morals are part of that as a warrior. And with the Japanese, they call it the Bushido Code. And there's so much to that. It doesn't happen in a lot of martial arts schools.
You know, um, in the Bushido code, as people say, in the West, it's the code of chivalry, and chivalry became a gentleman, and those manly traits we have to pass on, and we have lost a lot. In today's society, we have a lot of, not saying anything bad about single parents, but we have a lot of single moms out there raising their kids that do not have any father figures, and it's more daily. And a lot of these kids, they're looking for a father figure, and they find it either the football coach or what have you, and they also find it inside the boxing gyms and the martial arts schools. And that we have to, if you're a good person, like you say, moral ethics, you have to have it from yourself, and that's what you produce with your students. And that's what I tell parents when you take, or anybody joining. I go, when you go join a school, look at the oldest students, because that's how you're going to you end up at. Look at the instructor, look at the older students, how they act, how they move, how they treat other people, because that's the way your son, your daughter, or yourself is going to end up becoming. You're going to be a senior student one day. And if you like the way they are, then that's the school for you.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think that a lot of that comes directly from the instructor. We have an obligation to be fit role models. Whether we like it or not, we are a role model to the students in our class. We have an obligation to those students to be the best role model that we can be. And same thing for the parents. If you want your kid to be stronger and athletic, and you need to let your child catch you doing things that promote that. Let your child see you eat some salad. Let your child see you go for a walk to get some exercise. And same thing with the instructors. Get out there on the floor and be doing some stretches during the downtime between classes so that they see that example of, oh, wow, even, sensei is out there stretching between classes. I should stretch before my class, even before the warm-ups and stretches. Because if you only do what happens during class, you're only going to get certain results. I guarantee you, there's not a world champion of any physical athletic endeavor that did the bare minimum and only trained during the sessions. You know what I mean? They look at every meal as part of their training. They look at every opportunity to walk a little farther or take the stairs. And that was the thing that a friend of mine, Kazuhiro, told me about from the kendo karate school he went to in Japan. They had this thing that, like, if they were at the mall or shopping center or going to school, wherever they went, if there was a flight of stairs, you were obligated to take the stairs. Don't take the escalator, don't take the elevator. And it just became like this like contest when we were out in public, like, do you see any stairs? And just like going and running the stadium steps at the local high school football field, things like that. When you make those things part of your lifestyle and set that example for others, it does have an impact. And I've got people now that, I don't know if you see it on Facebook, every day I post at the end of the day, I take a screenshot of the steps that I took that day and I share it. And now I got people that are private messaging me their screenshots. Hey, I just started. I got 4,000 steps last week, and then today I did 6,000 steps. And so I know that, like, those good vibes carry on, and they do set an example for other people to follow.
Absolutely, absolutely. I want to thank you with everything that you said today, because it was an eye opener. Hopefully, it's an eye opener to many others. It's putting everybody on check again. Us as instructors, sometimes we're missing the cues here and there. And so I want to thank you for that. And we're running out of time, but I want to tell you once more, thank you for what you've done in the martial arts, especially in the Florida area. And
it's my pleasure.
And we'll see each other.
I do want to say real quick in closing, if I have a few seconds, that for any parents that are watching, it's November 19th. If your child isn't in martial arts yet, call a school that you're interested in. I'm sure that some of them are offering like a Black Friday or holiday special. Go ahead and jump on that. Get the best deal to get them started. Make that commitment for a year or longer to get them in a good, decent program. And you will be thankful that you did that.
Absolutely. Folks, we'll leave you with this. You all stay safe, be safe, and God bless you all. Until next time, much peace. Brother.
Yeah. Thank you.